going live on TikTok while we're here today, and hopefully that'll go well. So, again, let me know as you come in. I see a few people signing in there. Let me know who all's there. And if you're a first-time viewer, be sure and let me know where you're from and a little bit about yourself. I'd love to know that. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead. Looks like YouTube's up and running. And be sure you guys let me know that you're there as well. And I'm going to get TikTok going now here, I hope. Hi there on TikTok. My name is Terry Smith. I'm the owner of Adorable Deco Decor, and today we are working on bow making. Every Tuesday on my page we go live and make bows about 1 o'clock Eastern time generally, and we usually rotate. We do bows handmade. We do bows by using the Easy Bow Maker, and then I also use the Pro Bow. So we kind of rotate back and forth. So, hey, Christo, how are you? But as you come in, be sure you let me know you're there. And if you have any questions on TikTok, I cannot see your comments just the way I needed to position the camera so you can view it adequately. I will go back after the live and try to answer any questions that you might have. Or if you want to jump on over to Facebook or YouTube, I can see your questions there. So I guess TikTok doesn't save lives. I forgot about that, but I'll see if we can't make another adjustment on that for next time. Hey, Julie, how are you today? Thank you guys for being here. So anyway, as I said, we're going to be working on the Pro Bow today, and to me, it's one of my more favorite ways to make a bow. It's especially if I'm making a lot of bows, and for example, if I have a multiple in my shop that I need to make all the bows pretty close to the same size and configuration, I like to use the Pro Bow because I can get it a lot more exact than I can with the Easy Bow Maker or with making it by hand. When I'm creating, creating a wreath or such, generally I like to hand make my bows, but anyway, all those methods to make your bows have a place. Now, this is a Pro Bow board, and I know a lot of people are intimidated by it, and there is a learning curve to using this. Just don't give up. I always tell people it took me about 3 days to get the hang of this. I just kept practicing, watching videos and doing it over and over. And finally I got the hang of it and I love it. But just don't get impatient. And right here is where we're going to be making our bow. This is going to be the center of the bow. And then all our loops will be formed on these little pegs out here. I get a lot of questions why I have this painter's tape on my pegs. And over time, these get kind of loose, and mine is old. I've had it for many, many years. But this just kind of firms them up just enough to where I can still take them in and out, but they aren't too loose. Now, if you're familiar with the Easy Bow Maker, the Pro Bow, we're going to make it a little bit different in that the Easy Bow Maker, you work from the bottom ribbon up. On the Pro Bow, you work from the top ribbon down or the middle ribbon down, okay? That's what we're going to be starting with. And I thought for the first bow, I'm just going to use one ribbon where I'm not confusing you by switching ribbons back and forth. The second bow, then we'll make one with multiple ribbons. But the first one, and that's the way I recommend starting out, is just get in there and play with it. You know, Sam's has those 50-yard rolls of ribbon that you can get pretty inexpensively. Just get one of those. Don't start out with an expensive designer ribbon that you're afraid to waste. But just go ahead and use the same ribbon and just keep repeating the process until you feel comfortable with it. And this, actually the Pro Bow comes with this ribbon holder. I'm going to place my ribbon on here, and I like to place it on the holder so the ribbon is coming off and away from me, and actually the good side of the ribbon's facing away. So we'll go ahead and put that on the peg there. Hey Sandy, how are you? Finally got the hang of it. Good for you. Yes, it does. It does take a while to catch on, and it just takes persistence. And Sandy says, perfect bows every time. Hey Regina, how are you? Regina is on here. She actually has created the Pro Bow, and if I've got a lot of videos on my site on how to use the Pro Bow, and Regina has excellent ones on her site also. It's Pro Bow the Hand. But thank you for popping in, Regina. I appreciate it. And let me see. I'm going to see if anybody else has got any questions here. Okay, I don't see any other questions. All right, now, I like to work with 26 gauge floral wire. Sometimes I'll use a 24 gauge, but my hands are, I'm getting to the age where I've got, got some contractures and stuff and problems. So this 26 gauge is a little easier for me to handle and tighten up the bow good. Floral wire, the bigger the number, the thinner the wire. Okay, now 26 gauge is probably about the thinnest I'd like to do because it will break. And in fact, I have broke it just from pulling on the wire itself. But what I like to do, I like to get 2 pieces of the 26 gauge wire. I cut off about 26 inches. You can get this at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, any craft store. I like to get these little guys here because it keeps it neat and tidy out of my, where I'm not got a mess in my cart. And then it also has this little doodad back here where you can actually cut or clip the wire. You just stick it in there and squeeze it and it cuts it off. So, but anyway, you're going to need 2 26-inch long pieces of wire, whether it be 24 or 26 gauge, whichever your preference is. And I go ahead and I just fold them into a U shape, and then I bring them out of the way. And I'm going to, again, I've got the ribbon on here facing with the good side. This is single-sided ribbon. We've got a good side and we've got a bad side, okay, or the wrong side, I should say. Good side's going to be facing away from me. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dovetail it. I prefer to do that. I think it just makes a nice finished edge on your ribbon. It just makes it, some people call it fishtail or dovetail is what I call it, but it just makes a nice finished edge. All I did, I folded it in half, cut it at an angle. And then, now I like to make my bows where I have a center loop in them. So there's a couple of different ways you can start out your wires, but I'm going to show you the way I prefer to do it. And by all means, Regina, if you're still there, chime in if you have any suggestions. Hey, Leon, thank you for being here. All right, so what I do, I'm going to start out on this, again, we're going to be starting with the top loop or the centermost loop on the bow. I like to lay down my ribbon with the good side facing me. And I usually make my first tail about here at the B level. I actually got the inches marked here, but so it's about a 5-inch tail. And I just did that just because I found myself trying to get a tape measure all the time, but it's just easy if I, this is 3 inches, 5 inches, 6, 7, 8, 9. This whole board is about 20 inches. All right, so I'm going to take my tail, and what I'm going to do to start with, I'm just going to pinch it. Okay, and we're going to go real slow here to start with, so believe me, once you get the hang of it, it does not take that long to make a bow, but I'm going to go slow because I'm talking. All right, now I've got my ribbon, or my wire here. I've got my ribbon pinched, and again, I've got it folded in half. I don't know if you can see that. I've got that wire folded in half here. I hope you can see that. And I'm just going to take right there at the mark where it's folded in half. I'm going to grab that ribbon where I pinched it, and I'm going to wrap that around a couple of times. Okay, so I've got a nice little pinch there. All right, now, as again, I like to make a center loop in my bows, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold this where I pinched it, I've got the wire, I'm going to hold that right there, right on this center peg. Hold it straight. And then I'm going to wrap it around my center loop. Center peg, I mean. Now I'm going to bring it around here, and I'm going to bring it right back here to the center, and I'm going to pinch it. Now I'm going to take my wires that are straddling the ribbon. I'm going to take my wires, and I'm going to wrap it around here a time or two. Okay, so now I've got one wire that's going to my right hand. I've got another wire going to my left hand. I'm going to take the left-handed one and just wrap it around this top peg here. Just like that. Now I'm going to take the one that's in my right hand here, and there's a little nail down here. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to wrap it down here around that little nail. Now I'm going to tuck that underneath of my board there, and now I've got my hands free where I can now make my bow. Okay, so I'm going to tuck this out of the way, my tail. Now I'm just going to start wrapping around these pegs. I'm just going to start building my bow on either side. Okay, so now one thing you want to watch, you don't want to tug too tightly on here, because what we want to do, we want to make sure that this place here where I gathered it, you want that to stay in the center. If I pull that too tight, it'll shift off to the side, and then my bow's going to be all kind of cattywampus. So just make it snug enough where your ribbon is secure, but don't pull on it. All right, now I'm going to come right back here in the center. I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to twist it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, if you wanted to, you could bring this other wire and wrap it around, bring it down here through the center. We'll talk about that in the next bow I make, but for this type of bow, I don't worry too much about that right now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this around here, around the second peg. Come back here. I'm just going to repeat the process. I'm going to twist it so that the good side of the ribbon is always facing away from me. All right. Just keep building the bow out. Pinch it. Twist it. Go to the next peg. See how we're building that bow? Bring it back here to the center. Pinch it. Twist it. Bring it around the next peg. So you can just keep on going however many loops or however large you like your bow to be. All right, pinch it. We're going to twist it around the next peg. Pinch it. Twist it. Now making a bow this way too, especially around Christmas time, if you got a nice red velvet ribbon, that's the only ribbon you'd have to make, or have to buy. I mean, just a red velvet bow sells really well at Christmas time. All right, so we just keep on repeating that process. Now I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist it. I'm going to bring my wire. Remember, we had 2 pieces of wire. I'm going to take it down through this center loop, and I know you can't see it, but I'm going to show you here in a second with a pipe cleaner so you can see it a little better. I know those wires are hard to see. All right, I'm just going to take it right down. I'm going to run it along the right side of that peg there. All right, so what I did, pretend like this is the wire. I'm going to take it right down that center loop. Sometimes you just got to hold your tongue right and make it go in there. I can feel it. There we go. All right, so I bring it right to the right side, my right side here of this peg. And then I'm going to take it up and twist it. And that's going to tighten down the center of my bow. Okay, now I want to make a tail though. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring however long tail you want. We'll make it, so that's about 10. We'll make it about 20 inches. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch it. And then I'm going to take that wire and tighten it around there. Okay, so now I've got 1, 2, 3 tails, and you can make however many tails you want, but I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. Okay, all right, now one thing I wanted to tell you too, now when you're making your bow, you want to make sure you periodically look straight down, and I'll show you when I take this off also, but you want all the layers to be stacked on each other. I'll show you there on Facebook, there's on TikTok, and you want all of those stacked up straight on top of each other. You want to try to keep the center line on top of each other, and if you see you're getting off course, you can always kind of adjust it as you're going. But especially like me, I'm standing up right now making this bow. It's real easy for me to pull it either up or down. But now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take this wire off of the peg here and resist the urge just to pull it and yank it, because it'll get wadded up. Trust me, I know. But you just want to be patient. Pull that off. Now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to get it off of this little peg that is on the bottom of the board. Okay. All right, now I've got one in one hand and one in the other hand, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to tighten that up and twist it. All right, so now I've got a wire, two wires over here, I've got 2 wires over there, and if I wanted to, that's what I would leave and, you know, be able to connect to my wreath or my banister or my lantern, whatever. But I typically will go ahead, especially since I'm using a 26 gauge wire, I'll usually go ahead and put a zip tie around that. So anyway, this is what I was talking about when you are wanting to make sure that's straight up and down. It should just kind of look like a sandwich there, you know, right on top of each other. Okay. Now, if I were just making this and I was going to use it later, I just store them just like this. I don't even go ahead and fluff them out. But now we got to fluff it out and make it pretty. Let me get that out of the way. I'm going to get what's called the Fluff Box. And you guys, I drug my feet on buying this for a long time. I thought, well, why would I need a big box like this to hold my ribbon? But really, this makes a world of difference. Being able to have both of your hands available to fluff your bow. I wish I'd have bought it a long time ago. But anyway, it's a real heavy box. And Regina also has this for sale, the Fluff Box. But it's a real heavy box. I don't even know what's in there. I should ask Regina, if you're still there, let me know what's in here. But it has an eye hook here in the center, and then it has another one of those little brads or little nails over here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take the wire and we're going to hook it under this eye hook. I'm going to twist this around this little brad or nail over here. And then now I have 2 hands where I can fluff my bow. And let's go ahead and I'll trim off this tail here. We'll just cut that. We can dovetail it. And again, I'm going to fold it in half. And cut it at an angle. Okay. We'll get the tails all go in the same direction here. And as I said, you can add however many tails you want. All right, now I start from the bottom, and we're just going to take these bow loops and just spread them out like this. I try to, you know, each one of these loops is a little bit different size. So I try to, like this is the largest one. I'm going to bring the largest one opposite of that one. And as I pull them apart, I'm kind of taking them and twisting them. Kind of opening them up. Get your fingers in there. Fluff those loops out. Now I'm going to come up here to the next ones. And come out this way. And you'll have to come back and forth and work on the ones you've worked on before. All right, and again, I'm going to take them opposite. Okay, and then here's that center loop that I was telling you I like to have. Now, if you wanted to leave that tail, you could. If you wanted to make another tail, you could. It's whatever you want to do. But that's the way I make a bow with the same, you know, the same ribbon. Okay. I hope that was clear, more or less. I mean, like I said, this is going to be intimidating, but don't be scared. Just keep practicing it. And then believe me, you will love the bows that this makes. And I will, like I said, the next one we'll make multiple ribbon bow. All right, I'm going to look back through and see if I have any questions. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Karen. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Leon. Okay. Oh, Benita loves making bows with the bow maker. Yes, I do too. Jamie's wanting to know, will the wire rust when out in the elements? I've never had that issue. It's kind of coated. It has kind of a coating on it, so I would think not. I've never had that kind of an issue with it before. Okay. All right, let's go ahead now. I don't see any questions. And if you do have a question, just go ahead and put it in the comments. As I said, now when I'm making the bow, I'll come back and read the questions afterwards because I get really distracted real easily. And but don't hesitate to ask. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, this is going to be a multi-ribbon bow. And I'll go a little bit faster on this one. Like I said, it normally doesn't take that long to make a bow. I mean, I can knock out a bunch of them. I'm sitting there watching TV at night. You can knock out a bunch of them quick. All right, I'm going to start with the middle ribbon. And again, I'm going to have the good side facing away from me. I'm going to dovetail. And I'm going to get my wires. And this one will be a little bit different, as I said, because we're going to be using multiple ribbons. But I lay this down, good side is facing toward me. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to wrap this around the area I pinched. Sometimes this is the hardest part for me right here. I don't know why. All right, then we're going to take that around that middle peg there. I'm going to pinch it, wrap the wire around a time or two. If I can get my fingers working there. All right, draw it tight, and then the top, or the one in the left hand is going to go over the top peg, or the middle peg, I should say. And then I'm going to put this down on the lower little nail here. Tuck that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and dovetail this as I cut it. I'll put this up here out of the way. Now here's the part that's a little bit different, the way I do it anyway. As I said, I like to have that center loop there. And so I'm going to take another piece of wire and I'm just going to run that right down through the center, just like I showed you just a minute ago. With the wires are going to come out of the right side, or my right side of the bow loop. I just went right down through that center loop right there. just like that. And I'm coming out the right side. And that just stays there now. And we'll get another ribbon here. Find. And again, I'm starting with the middle. It's going to be the middle or the top ribbon and build downward. I'm going to dovetail. Lay this down, and I'm going to run this. I'm going to put this between that wire I just put there. So then I can easily wrap it around it. All right, I'm going to lay that down. I love this ribbon. You guys, this is my most favorite patriotic ribbon I've got. I think I've sold out of the 1.5. I think I still have some 2.5 of this in my shop. All right, and we're going to draw that tight. Get that out of the way. Put that up there. Going to wrap this around that next loop or next peg. Again, I'm not pulling too tight. We're going to take this back here. We're going to pinch it. We're going to twist it. Go around the next peg. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to twist it. Now I'm going to wrap my wires around it tight and dovetail. And like I said, I'm going a little faster on this one. I've got lots and lots of videos doing this on my website, Adorable Deco Decor, on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page. So if you have any questions or issues, please just go back, and we've got lots of slowed down versions of that. Plus, like I said, Regina's got lots of good information on her site as well. All right, I'm going to dovetail this. And you can see I'm using multiple sizes too. Okay, I'm going to pinch. Put that up there. Wrap the wire around it. But another thing I like about this too is, say that, you know, the phone is ringing or something like that, or if you've got little kids, you know how many interruptions you get then. You know, I can leave this bow, walk away, and come back to it. It's still going to be waiting on me. Whereas if I was making it by hand, not the same. All right, we just keep on repeating the process. I've got 2 more ribbons I'm going to use on this one. I needed to make a bunch of patriotic bows, though. I've kind of fell behind the 8 ball, so to speak. I have been gone traveling so much with family and business that I'm behind. And here it is, almost Memorial Day. Patriotic sells all year long, though, you guys. So if you have an Etsy shop or a craft booth, Patriotic always sells. Here's the 2.5 inch that I was talking about that I have in my shop. Isn't that pretty? I've got a few more rolls of it, I think. And we just keep on repeating this process. I think this is going to turn out to be a beautiful bow. All right, bring that around that peg. And again, see how I'm not pulling it real tight. Just try and stack that right on top of each other. All right, twist. Okay, get those out of the way. And then I'm going to finish this up with a solid. I've got lots of pattern going on here. I like to kind of center the ribbon or center the bow with a solid. It almost acts, you know how we mat a a photo in a picture frame. This kind of serves the same, what word am I trying to think of? The same purpose. I couldn't think of that word. All right. Twist this. You could also have thrown in a silver ribbon if you wanted to, like a solid silver. That'd been pretty as well. Or a solid white even, with some glitter on it. And here I noticed I was starting to work upward, and so I just took my fingers and just pushed that and straightened it up now so it doesn't cause me trouble later. I just kind of take my fingers and kind of work it like that. All right, let's dovetail this last one, then we're going to fluff it out, and I'll show you what a beautiful bow this makes. And now I'm going to take this off the top peg here. Get it off the nail. And then we're going to take this and we're going to tighten this up. And sometimes even when you're tightening it like that, you'll notice that it kind of shifts. Just go ahead, take your time, fix it now. Sometimes I even hold my finger up against it to keep it where it needs to go. All right, we'll lift that off, and we're just going to take my hand. All I'm doing is taking my hand underneath of it and just lifting it up. Okay? And again, you want it straight on top of each other, just like a sandwich. Get this out of the way. And get my fluff box out. And I'm going to take all these wires together here, put it underneath of the eye hook, wrap that around the nail. Now let's fluff this out. And I'm taking the loops and the tail opposite directions. I always start out at the bottom. That's the best way to do this. It looks like I got my tails uneven there. I must not have paid attention. Okay, and now we're just going to do the opposite side. We'll take the loop one way, the tail the other. Oops, went the wrong direction. Pay attention, Terry. All right, now we're ready for this one. I'm getting on the inside and fluffing those bow loops out. And I'm taking my fingers and just kind of opening them, just like that. All right. So now we're ready for this one. And just like I said before, you'll go back and forth and, you know, fix one layer and then go back and fix the other one. Okay. And that is how you use your pro bow, or how I use my pro bow, I should say. Everybody has their own different ways of doing things, but that's the way I do it. So, isn't that pretty? All right, I'm going to look through and see if anybody has any questions. Hey, Jean. Hey, Phyllis. How are you guys? There's Catherine. Jamie's talking about having trouble selling wreaths. You know, if you're selling on Etsy, Etsy loves multiples. And bows are a good way to be able to list multiples. I mean, I had a patriotic bow, not this particular one, but last year, that ended up being a bestseller. I just kept making it. You know, you go find a ribbon combo that you like, and just, you know, list a handful of them, and, you know, as they sell, you just keep replacing them, and before you know it, you got a bestseller. But it's a good way to make multiples. But, and I have to tell you, and I never would have believed this had I not experienced it myself. On my craft, I had a craft booth here at a local mall. Bows were my biggest seller. And I thought, why would people be buying bows? But they really do. And even wreath makers buy bows. Now, another way to think about it too is maybe somebody doesn't want to buy a whole roll of ribbon. They just need one bow. And you can, you know, instead of buying, say, 5 ribbons here, I can just buy this bow instead. So there's lots of reasons why people buy bows. Again, I would not have believed it had I not witnessed it, but it's true. And that then in turn can draw some traffic into your shop, where you might get some other customers interested in wreaths too. So, or you could, you know, make a one-off. You know, sometimes they want a one and done type of deal where you have a bow that they can decorate their lantern or their light post to coordinate with the wreath they have. So think about that ways. But I can't, you know, I can't advise selling anything more than I can bows. Really, I mean, they sell really well. All right, anybody else have any questions? Okay, I don't see any other questions. So now I do have a few new ribbons that I did list in my shop over the last couple of days. I'll show you a couple of them. Are gorgeous. Now that we're talking about ribbon, huh? Let me move this out of the way. But I've got this beautiful, I can see this was as a bumblebee wreath. In fact, I need to make some bee wreaths. I've got some really cute attachments I still need to use, but isn't that beautiful? Ferris silk designer ribbon. And then in my wreath making group, we made a beautiful swag with this patriotic ribbon. This was the only ribbon we used in the whole swag. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I sold some yesterday. I don't know how much I've got left, but, and you know, when you're looking at designer ribbons, you know, you don't have to use a lot of it to make a statement, and that's the thing with it. I mean, a little of it goes a long ways. And then I had a couple others I wanted to show you here too. If you got anybody that likes to make nautical type wreaths, this is really pretty. I forgot I'd bought this, but has the seahorses on it. It's also fair silk, very good quality. Isn't that pretty? Has the little seahorses and a couple of different types of blues in it, like almost like a blue-green or an aqua. Has a starfish, but I've got that listed. Oh, and this is the one. Let me move this out of the way here. This is the one that I was waiting on to make our project last week. If you saw my flamingo wreath, I was really waiting on this ribbon right here to come in stock, and when you know, the day I finished it, it came in stock. But it's also fair silk. Isn't that gorgeous? With the citrus and all the really fun tropical kind of colors. I think that's really cute. Makes me think about sitting by the pool for some reason. Probably even more so than that nautical ribbon. And then this one I got in, actually I forgot I ordered this. This one I think would work really well with fall. And I actually have some sunflowers that are about this shade. You know, blue's really popular for fall. But I've got that one. And then this one, you guys have probably seen me use it a lot. I try to keep this on hand all the time. But it's just kind of a rustic ribbon that you can use all year long. It has the sequins along the side there, if you can see that. And real good quality. Has a little bit of red on the back, but you could use this for summer, for patriotic, for Valentine's, for Christmas, for every day. I've made some cowboy wreaths using this ribbon before. But anyway, like I said, I've just got those listed, plus a few others. If you just want to take a peek in my Etsy shop or boxmybow.com, and I'll be listing some others. I've got quite a few others that I haven't gotten listed just yet either. Those are more for probably Halloween than anything else. But tis the season, right, guys? So, hey Clara, hey Martha. Oh, Benita says she likes making tree topper bows on the bow maker. Yes, exactly. And like I said, especially if you've got to make bows that are all the same size, or look pretty similar together, like for a wedding or something like that, that's a perfect way to make those. So I do have one of those available for sale on shopliketerry.com, the Pro Bow Makers, plus some other things that people ask me about a lot. I've tried to, as people ask me, I try to list things over there. But anyway, let me know if there's any questions. And as I said, I'll try to get back and look at questions on TikTok. I just can't see any comments right now. Again, we're pretty much every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we're here making bows with a variety of methods. Sometimes I'll go ahead and make something else with it, but today I wanted to just really focus on the Pro Bow. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate your time. If you like this video, if you wouldn't mind to share it on your page, I'd really appreciate that as well. It kind of acts as my tip jar, keeps me going. So, okay. Yes, Halloween, Jamie, it's that time. Can you believe it? All right, thank you guys so much, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.